Wiley, LeVar, and Bucky are back. Let's move to Kansas City, where the Chiefs got Patrick Mahomes back Sunday, but still managed to blow a lead to the Titans at home. Falling to 6-4 on the year, Andy Reid's squad has now lost 4 of their last 6 and are just a half game ahead of the Raiders in the AFC West. And their defense has clearly been the weak link, ranked near the bottom of the league in rush defense, total defense, red zone percentage, and penalties. You guys losing any confidence in Andy Reid and the Chiefs?
I am. And you nailed it talking about the middle of their defense, especially how porous it is. And we saw it in the rush defense as well. That seesaw effect, sometimes you see it with teams where, we have this offense and the defense for some collective reason doesn't show up. And as great as Patrick Mahomes is, they are the opposite, and they continue to be the opposite. And it's going to be the Achilles heel for this team because you can't just go out there and outscore all your opponents, and that's going to come back to haunt them.
I think it's tough for Andy Reid because he has all these weapons. I was talking to an NFL defense coordinator. He said they may have too many weapons. They have so many guys that the way that you want to play with these weapons is you want to play fast so you have more plays, more touches for their guys. The problem is when you play that up-tempo style, you now have to put your defense out there for more plays. And we've seen that their defense can't stop running games. So Andy Reid has to make a decision. Do I put a throttle on Patrick Mahomes to spare my defense from the exposure that will ultimately lead us to lose? I just think it's hard for an offensive guy to say, I'm going to choke down my offense because it's in my defense's best interest to not be on the field.
And that's a great reason to lose confidence in this team. I also tend to look at it from, historically speaking, Andy Reid has so much success during the regular season. We've never questioned how, or at least strongly questioned, Andy Reid's leadership and accomplishments in the regular season. It's always in the postseason where he gets into trouble. He struggles to get to the Super Bowl, made it to the Super Bowl, doesn't win the Super Bowl. So to start struggling on this stretch the way that they are, lends me to look at it from a concerning eye because he generally has more dominant performance coaching during the regular season.
The 2 games that they played without Patrick Mahomes, the defense actually elevated and played well.
Yeah.
And one of the things that happened is just a small thing that I pay attention to. When Matt Moore was out there at quarterback, when Matt Moore would come off, I never saw the camera pan to Andy Reid sitting on the bench next to Matt Moore. When the defense was on the field, the times I saw it, Andy Reid was on the sidelines watching his defense. But as soon as Pat Mahomes comes back, I start seeing the video of Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid sitting on the bench, the defense out there playing like garbage. The accountability for the defense isn't there because the head coach, when Patrick Mahomes is around, all he cares about is Patrick Mahomes. He don't take care of his side pieces, the defense, the way that he should. He spends all the time with his man.
And that's why they're in the streets.
But when you say that, what does that represent in that moment? Because I'd like to understand that because generally speaking, defensive guys don't have much interaction with the head coach.
Great point. And
So
I don't
Bill
even feel
Belichick has very little interaction with
he's a defensive coach, but I'm saying if you're on a team where you knowingly have an offensive-minded coach, you generally don't have interaction with that coach.
There's an accountability. Yeah. The head coach, to me, on it, again, I obviously didn't play at the NFL level. The head coach carries a different weight than any coordinator, any assistant. I used to hate when the head coach showed up, the energy would go down, oh, daddy's here, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm assuming the same thing happened.
From Reid isn't there to watch what they're doing.
Right. The accountability is between the coaching ranks, not so much on the field. Because on the field, one, it doesn't affect our climate. We're just trying to get the calls. Most of the time, I'm interacting with my linebacker more than anybody. And then he's interacting with the coordinator. Coordinator's interacting with the head coach. And maybe that weight comes downhill. We don't feel that until we get into the meetings the next day and hear it. But that's an interesting point.
I think you got a good point. The point is, Pat Mahomes is such a talent that when Andy Reid has him, he can't just stop thinking about different ways that we can open up this offense. And so when you're an offensive-minded coach, all you think, man, I got this guy who is like Brett Favre. Man, let's figure out how we can score more points. And sometimes he does it to the detriment of the team. We always hear in the playoffs, because you brought up a good point about it, we don't hear about his playoff success. In the playoffs, you have to play complementary football, meaning that as a coach on offense, How can I call the game offensively to support my defense? Does that mean I need to run the ball more? Does that mean we need to slow it down and score in late stretches? I'm going to say this, and I think this is the biggest thing that's really wrong with the Kansas City Chiefs, and no one has really talked about this. They miss Kareem Hunt. This team has been different since Kareem Hunt was removed from the roster. Say what you want about Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt was a leading rusher, and when they had him, they could salt away games so the defense didn't have to go out there. I know there was a time where we were excited about, hey, the back committee, their guys are doing it. They don't have the same kind of running game without Kareem Hunt.
Coming up, we'll give you our latest approval ratings for Russell Wilson, and Uncle Jimmy would tell us why the Seahawks remind him of a legendary action hero, Dirt. Uncle Jimmy's here to help us talk about our approval rating for Russell Wilson.
No?
All right, big dummy of the day.
Oh, man. Big dummy of the day go to the person who sat up here on the panel and said, Lamar, did you play football? That's like asking you, Jason, you ever ate a rib?
Huh? Yeah, you did.
Damn.
All right, let's talk Russell Wilson,
Play football.
who led the Seahawks to a big win over the 49ers last night. 8-2 Seattle is now just a half game back of the 8-1 San Francisco 49ers.
Give me that.
Marcellus, you think the Seahawks catch the Niners and win the NFC West?
No. Both have some tough sledding coming ahead with the schedule. I'm not going to read that off, but I think they're comparable. Seahawks behind. I think that was a game for the 49ers last night, even though they lost. I think that 49ers prevail. 49ers win the division.
I think the Seahawks catch up with the 49ers. They beat them on the road last night. They beat them in San Francisco's home. They got them at the end of the year.
This is my kick.
In Seattle.
My kick.
So anyway, Uncle Jimmy,
My kick.
your thoughts on Russell Wilson last night, the leader in the MVP race?
Well, once again, you done shown that me and you done grew up in two different hood genres.
What's that?
You over here talking about Russell Wilson look like James Bond.
007, yeah.
He looked more, to me, he looked more like Rudy Ray Moore.
Rudy Ray Moore.
He made a film. He was a comedian who made a film back in the 70s called Dolomite. You might have heard of it.
Yeah, I did.
Netflix just did a movie about it. It's starring Eddie Murray. I'll let you borrow my password if you want to look at it.
Eddie Murphy, but go ahead. Yeah, Eddie Murphy.
Look at man, if you would have saw Russell Wilson in that press conference last night, you would have known he thought he was Dolomite. And you know what I mean? Man, he came to the press conference talking about, way down in the jungle deep, a badass man named Russell Wilson came and stepped on the 8-0 49ers feet. He said, I know you Mitty Ficky said that I wasn't great, but what you got to say now after what I just did in Golden State? See, San Francisco thought they was the terror, but they never should have messed with the cat that brought home Sierra. See, Javion Clowning came off that end real fast. Little Jimmy Garoppolo didn't know what hit that ass. See, I clowned Nicky Bosa in a hell of a way. Sidestepped that punk and made his hair turn gray. Now, Kyle Shanahan thought that I was his little man. And by the end of the night, he told everybody that I was his Tarzan. Now, little Richard Sherman, I got some words for you, too. See, your granddaddy got crabs out of his ass, and they all singing the Yankee Doodle Doo. See, Jimmy G, I know your girlfriend got the whooping cough, and I know your sister got the measles, and your kicker running around here like somebody got a foot up his ass, singing, I'm coming home to Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Way down in the jungle. If y'all just act like you understand, I'll talk to you like you a natural-born man. What you talking about?
We're talking about the approval rating.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Petey Wheatstraw. They said he the devil's son-in-law.
I'm talking about Jimmy Garoppolo's approval rating. Russell Wilson's approval rating.
How much?
It stays the same.
Eddie Murphy,
All-star for me. I move him up a point
Deep, damn it.
in job performance. Move him up a point in all-time greatness. Dropped him 2 points authenticity because I didn't like the little post-game routine with Richard Sherman.
Oh, you didn't like that? It was a little fake? You didn't like that?
Fake to me, not authentic.
Oh, Russell
like
Wilson
that?
being fake? Oh,
Yeah.
really?
79 All-Star stat.
Yeah, I'm with you. I had to drop him too. That wasn't an MVP level performance like he's been giving us all year long. And like you said, that handshake at Russell Wilson. But we got any more, Dolomite?
Hey,
The
they
Eddie Murphy
said there
light?
ain't no future in your front.
Yeah.
Hey, I got Sierra, so boy, y'all ain't getting nothing.
Can't unsee what I saw. Boy, you need to put on a bra.
All right. You don't want to fight. Don't
The
come
internet
over and mess
agrees
with
with
me
me.
tonight.
48%. Dolomite, shut up. We got to go. Lock it in. Rachel Bonetta.
Still ain't getting paid.